Okay, so what is business logic? So far we have created, we have been working on creating the objects and controlling the security and access for that, right? Uh, Last session we were talking about how do we create different components of Salesforce and how do we control the access to those components, right? So through profiles, through permission sets, through organization-wide defaults and all, right? So all those things have been done now. What we are going to talk about in today's session is the business logic section, where you can have certain logics, predefined logics, which you can use to automate some of the stuff. What is that automating the stuff? Automating stuff means, let's say, certain things that you are doing manually, okay, and you have a very clearly defined logic for that. So rather than doing it manually every time, you can define that logic and instruct your Salesforce to do it on your behalf, so that you do not spend time every time on that. So it will help you reduce the manual work, and it will help you increase the efficiency, both in terms of saving the time as well as avoiding those errors and all. So that way. But for automating any stuff, whatever you want to automate, you need to have a clearly defined business logic. Okay, so I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say you have a sales price. You have an object called merchandise, and on merchandise we have a sales price. So sales price is, let's say, 200 whatever X, and I allow a discount on the sales price. Okay. Now there can be two scenarios. One, I have a very clearly defined logic for the discount, which can be the discount is always 10% of the sales price, or in the months January, February and March, the discount is 20%, and the rest of the months it's 15%. So either I have a very clearly defined logic. So on a Wednesday it's a 25% discount. So the logic can be complex, but the point is that either I have a clearly defined logic of the discount, or I do not have a clearly defined logic. So it can be subjective. Depends on the salesperson how much he can bargain or negotiate with the client, and he can give a discount whatever he wants. He's allowed to give a discount 10%, he can give a discount of 25% also. Completely depends on the salesperson. So there can be two scenarios, right? One, we have a clearly defined logic. That's situation one. And we have a situation 2. We do not have a defined logic for it. We do not have a defined logic. Sometimes the client does not give discount. Only if someone is asking for a discount, then only that too depends on how much the client is negotiating. So these can be two scenarios, right? So if we have this first situation, then we can use our business logic section to automate that calculation of discount. If it is second scenario, then that thing cannot be automated to that extent. Okay. So for example, if you have a clearly defined logic that the discount is always going to be 10% of the price, always. So if that is the case, then you can straight away put discount equals 10% of sales price, right? And this can be calculated through a formula every time. Or as I said, if it is January, so the company has a logic. Let's say that from January till March they give 25% discount. There you can put if current month is Jan or Feb or March, then discount is equals to 25% of sales price. So this is one business logic thing, and this is usually called formula. Okay. So what is formula? Formula is basically a field type. While creating fields into an object, you must have noticed that there is a field type called formula. In formula, you can define your logic to do certain calculations automatically. That is the first part. Formula is the first part of business logic section, where you have a logic and you can populate the value automatically by just defining the logic for all the records, and you do not have to do it manually for each and every record, right? So let us log into our Salesforce accounts, developer orgs. So what are the objects that we created in our last session? Project, and then we created one consultant, and then we created a client. Okay. So today's session, some part of that I'm just gonna give you some assignments, and you have to do it. So it's going to be a part of it is going to be hands-on. Log into your Salesforce Developer Edition. Okay. First thing that I want to do is tell me, go back to your I think for this developer edition I have the project object here. So did you create a project object on your developer account?
Yeah, I created the project manager
app,
and then yes, project manager app, and then the app related to the assignment. These are the only two apps I have created, custom apps.
So you have the project object in your app, Suvajit?
I should be in the project management.
Just log into your account, go and check if you have a project object there. Create a field called duration on project object. So what we want basically on the project object, I want to create a field called duration. So what will be the duration of the project? That will be in number of hours. I need a field where we will put the rate, how much we are going to charge to the client per hour, and we will create a field of total budget for that project. So what is the total budget of that project, right? So let's go and do it. Just give me 1 minute. Suvajit, can you share your screen once?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, you have the project object here, right? Okay, so we have it here as well. Okay, so let's do it this way. I mean, let me do it. I'll do it now, and then you guys can follow. So that will be better, I guess. Otherwise, we might not be on the same page. Okay, so we have the project object here, And for the project object, we have a few further requirements. So we want the duration field to be there for the project object. So let's just go to the setup, create object. If you want to create a field, what you will have to do, you'll have to go to setup, create, go to that particular object, and from there you can create the field, right? So what should be the field type for this duration? What do you think? It's going to be number of hours. Should be a number, right? Duration is a number of hours, so it should be number. Other field that I need is the rate, per hour rate for that project. What should be the field type for rate? Should be currency, per hour rate. So rate should be currency. Oh, I named it currency. I should have named it rate. So for the project now I have two fields. One is the per hour rate and one is the total duration of the project. Now using these two fields I want to calculate what should be the total budget of the project. So the third field, the budget will be rate into duration, rate multiplied by duration, right? So for that we can use a formula field. So let's create a formula field to calculate the total budget for the project. So now you go to the new field, you will find that there is a field type called formula. Just select the formula as field type. So whenever you want to create a formula, you have to select formula as the field type, click on next and say total budget. What will be the return type for this? Return type means after calculation what should it return? So after calculation it should again return currency because the budget is going to be in currency. Click on next. Okay, now we have to put the formula here. So this is the area where you have to enter your formula. Go to advanced formula. By default it's simple formula, so you don't need to go to simple formula. Straight away go to advanced formula. Click on insert field. Insert the field that you want to enter into the formula. So the first field that I want to enter into it is duration of the project. Insert. It's going to be duration multiplied by, so operator can be inserted from here, multiplied by rate. Right, done. So this is the formula, duration into rate. This is a formula for the total budget. Total budget equals duration into rate. Once you have put this formula, do a check syntax. And Go to next and save it as any other field, the way we do it for any other field. Control the field level security and all those things from here. Go to next and save it. So now I have this total budget, which is a formula field, and it will be calculated based on the value that is entered into the duration and the rate fields. Create a new project. Starts on 23rd April, ends on 26th April. Priority medium. Duration is 40 hours. The rate is $70. Save. Right? So we have a clearly defined logic. So that is the reason why I am able to automate this field. I don't have to calculate this. Now this is a very simple thing, but it could have had a few logics. So let's say your company has a system where they say that your company has a system where they say any project which is if the duration is greater than 50 hours, we will give 10% discount on the total rate. So total budget will be should automatically be discounted 10%. If duration is greater than 100 hours, they say we will give a 20% discount on the rate. If duration is more than 200 hours, they say we'll give 30% discount on the rate. If that is the case, right? So this ways they can have different slots. That okay for any duration which is this much, there's going to be a slot, right? So these kind of complex logics can also be defined, and however, what we did in our last example, just multiplying these two things, still simpler for someone to do it manually. But if there is a big chart like this, that the discount that they are planning to give depends on the number of hours, and that also depends on some other 2-3 factors, then it becomes a very tedious job for someone to manually figure out what slab of discount is applicable and all. Rather we can straight away go and define it on our formula. So let's edit this. Let me work on this logic. If the duration is more than 50 hours, it should be 10% discount. If duration is more than 100 hours, it will be 20% discount, and this ways, right? So we'll just go to the same formula field and edit it this time. So we don't need to create a different field. We can straight away go to setup, create objects, just come on to paragraphs. It will just come very quickly. Go to meeting. Go to meeting. Same thing you're using. You can connect through the same meeting, the same way.
I can see the same voice.
Voice you will get. Right now you are, if you connect, there is an option of mic and speakers. So that is what you have to select and it will connect you. Hello? Yeah, so that mic and speakers will connect you to the voice part. Not getting connected, that good.
Doing the assignment where I face the issues, completing the blueprint itself, I was not able to take much. I was able to take it technically, but functionally wise, I felt very weak, like identifying the entities.
Right.
Hello.
We'll talk about that. Hello? Yes, Subhajit, can you hear me?
Yeah, I lost
I think,
it.
it got disconnected for some time.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were planning to work on this logic part. For depending on the number of hours or the duration, this thing should get calculated, right? The budget thing. So we just don't need to do anything special here. We just have to go to the project object, and we already have that field for the total budget. We'll just go and edit it this time, but this time we will just put an if logic there. So we have a total budget field. We'll just go here, we'll click on edit, and we'll put an if logic here. So what should be the logic basically? Okay. If you see in the right hand side, there are all these functions. So all these functions you must be familiar with. You must have seen all these functions on Microsoft Excel. If, else, all these logical functions and all these things are available here. Maths functions, date and time functions. Most of these are available on Microsoft Excel, and you must have used it on Microsoft Excel. You can just go to any particular function. Click on a function, it will show you how that function can be used. If you still want more details on how, so if logic is used in this way, if put the logical test and then give the value if the logical test is true and give the value if the logical test is false, right? If you want to understand or learn a little more about these functions, or if you want to, refer back to any of the function, how exactly it can be used with a, with an example, you just need to go here and click on this operations and function. If you click on this link, it will take you to this link where you have all the functions explained very nicely with definition, with an example. So that way it's a very helpful thing. So if you scroll down, you will see all the functions, all the operators, everything has been defined on this link. It's very useful. So whenever you're working on a function, you're not very clear on how that function needs to be used, come back to this reference link and take help from here, right? So in this case, we just have to put an if function here. What should be the logical test? I'm just doing it for one of the scenarios. So what should be the logical test? Duration greater than 50, right?
Yes.
So insert the duration field. The duration is greater than, where is greater than? 50. Then the budget value will be in that case it should be 10% discounted on 10%. So total budget, whatever, there are different ways of calculating it through your mathematical expression. So whatever process you want to follow, so I would do it 0.9 into duration, yeah, 0.9 into rate into duration, right? Else it should just be a rate into discount. Just go and check for a syntax error. If there is a syntax error, that will be displayed here. If it does not give a syntax error, that means your formula is fine. No syntax error, it's fine. We can just save it.
And if you want another if condition?
If you want another if condition, so your another if condition would come here.
If it is not, then here.
Yes, here. If yes, then this, and then the other if condition should come here on the not scenario. If it is not, then other if condition in that. So that will be a nested if. So the second condition will enter the false part of it. Rupali, okay. Subhajit, clear with you?
So here we are saying that if the duration is more than 50, the condition is true, that means give 10% discount, or else don't give any discount, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay.
That's fine.
And what about the, like, yeah, and what if you have to nest all the, I mean, you have to add
This is an
the other
example that
condition
not
as well.
suits it. See, if it is greater than 50 means it could be 10, 20, 30, any value. This is a, I mean, valid scenario. Right? See, duration greater than 50 you are writing. So, like 60 hours, it is greater than 100. Greater than 50 means it would be come in all the scenarios, right? I think.
So we'll have to do it the other way around.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. So let's take this example. Subhajit, you were also talking about this nested thing. How do we nest the other if here?
Yes.
Okay. So give me 1 minute. Let me just write the formula. So Kiran also has a valid question that if we nest it after this, because the first place itself, any value, if I want to put another condition, like if it is greater than 100, but any value which is greater than 100 is also greater than 50. So first place itself it will be counted as 90%. So for that we should come the other way around. So let's take this example that we have taken. We will take these three slabs. Anything less than 50 is 0 discount. More than 50 to 100 is 10%. 100 to 200 is 20%. Anything greater than 200 is 30%. So first thing that we will check is if it is greater than 200 or not. So for anything greater than 200, we should give 30% discount. So the formula should be like this. So the formula should be like this. If greater than 200, then make it 70%. and then another if comes in here. So just remove this part, put your next if here. Put one more if here. So if it's greater than 200, 30% discount. If greater than 100, then 20% discount. So anything which is greater than 200 will be calculated here. So anything that comes to the second level is definitely greater than less than 200. So that is less than 200, and if it is greater than 100, then it takes makes it 80%. Then if it is, yeah, same thing we can copy and put here. So still if it is greater than 50, then should be 10% of discount, else no discount. Clear on that? What we are doing here? No syntax error, that's fine. Suvajit, okay with you? The nested if? Okay. So this phase, I mean, we can actually make our application very powerful by, so you can see two things. One, it is actually helping you save a lot of man hours by automating certain things. Secondly, it is helping you avoid a lot of human errors also. So usually, I mean, these kind of calculations, there can be error from the manual things, but this is saving that kind of time. And whatever complex logic, if you have this kind of a system, then you can put complex logics into that, right? So that way again it's going to work. So work work on the formulas part. Try to learn more formulas from here. I'll be sharing a PDF with you where we have very good examples of the formula. You can see those examples and you can try those things during this coming week. So that will be helpful.
Okay.
So tell me if you have any question related to formula. Any question that we need to understand. This is comparatively the simplest of all the business logics.
I don't have.
Yeah. So because we have already done a lot of these things in Microsoft Excel, so we are a little clear with this part. Now let's move on to the second business logic thing, which is called a validation rule. So what is a validation rule? Validation rule is a rule where you can define what data can get into the database table.
Your voice breaking.
Is it clear now?
Yeah, it's clear, but sometimes it's just, you're breaking up, actually. But now it's okay.
Now it's fine? Okay.
I can hear you now.
So validation rule basically defines the rule for validating the data. So what data can get into the system, what data cannot get into the system. So that is what we'll define using validation rules. How do we do that?
You're breaking off.
Again breaking off.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
I couldn't hear you, G, because you broke off.
Now is it?
Yeah.
Now is it fine?
Yeah, you were mentioning about validation. Yeah.
Yeah, so validation rule is basically a rule which is defined to validate the data. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say your company says that we will not take any project which is less than 20 hours of duration. Right? So that is where you might want to put a validation rule that by mistake also someone should not take up a project which has a duration which is less than 20 hours. So the data gets validated when anyone is creating a project record. It checks if the duration is less than 20 hours, it will automatically throw an error message. Right?
Okay.
That is a kind of validation. Okay, so it's different from formula. Formula is a field type where we do the calculation. Validation is where before entering the data into the database, we are doing some sort of validation. We are validating the data, right? And we again use the formula expressions to define those rules. The expressions will be defined using formulas only, right? Like duration, if duration greater than 20, duration less than 20, then throw this error message. But using the formula kind of thing only. So let's connect to that one. So what we'll have to do here is we'll define the validation rule. Validation rule that needs to be defined for object. So first thing that you have to do, you have to select the object and then define the validation rule for that object. Sujit, you can hear my voice here?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
You're breaking off again.
Just give me 1 minute. I think there is some issue with this. Just give me 1 minute. Let me connect back.
Yeah.
You can see the screen?
Yeah, I can see your desktop now.
Yeah. Now is the voice fine, Sujit?
Yes.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So validation rule. So as I said, this validation rule needs to be defined on an object, right? Because the data the data is always entered, or any record is entered into an object. So you have to define that for this object, validate the data, and this is the criteria that you need to check before any data gets into the table. That is it, right? So in this example, we will talk about the project object, and I say that let's say my business has a logic that we will not take any project where the duration is less than 25 hours. So that is the minimum thing. And we also will not take any project where the rate is less than $30. So what we can do, we can define these as validation rules here. How do we do that? You just need to go to the setup, create objects, and where you go and create the custom fields. Just below the custom fields, you will see there is a validation rules option. So for all the validation rules for this object need to be defined here. So you can click on new. Minimum duration limit. Whatever, give it a rule name. You have the option of making it active. So the rule needs to be active or inactive. I mean, you have the choice of keeping the rule as active or inactive. Why do we have this active option available? Sometimes, though you have defined the rule, but sometimes you might want that rule to just not work. Let's say off season. Usually you do not take any project less than 24 hours, but off season, December month, you think that okay fine, even if someone is giving a project for 15 hours, let's take it. Right, so that time you will not delete the validation rule, you can just deactivate it for temporary basis, right? So we'll keep it active. Now for validation rule, we just have to define two things: the error condition and the error message. So error condition for us here is duration less than 20. This is the error condition. You don't have to define if and all those things because if is already here. It is already a condition, so you don't have to write if duration less than 20. Straight away write duration less than 20. So it is an if condition, that's pretty much implied. You just write duration less than 20 and what should be the error message if the duration is less than 20. We do not take projects less than 20 hours of duration. That's the error message you want to throw, right? So this is your validation rule. You just click on save. The rule is active. Now if you go to the projects and try to create a new project record, sorry, duration, let's say I make it 18. It throws an error, does not allow you to enter the data. What is the error that it gives? It's invalid data. We do not take projects less than 20 hours of duration. So here it's 18. Got it? Same way we can actually put our other validation rule for the rate thing, right? Validations can also be a little more, you can have a little more complex validation. The business can say that we will take a project which is less than 20 hours, but for that the rate always has to be more than 100 hours. Sorry, $100. So the company is ready to take a project which is less than 20 hours, but for that the rate always has to be greater than 100. So if the duration is less than 20 and the rate is less than 100, then they will not take it. So that kind of thing can also be there, right? So the minimum rate for a project which has less than 20 hours of duration should be $100. So that is what they are saying. Then what do? We have to go and go to that object and define it. So let me go to the same validation rule and try to edit it. So here we want to check two criteria, right? So we'll need AND logic. AND. So first logic is if duration is less than 20 and rate is less than 100. So throw an error if the duration is less than 20 and rate is less than 100. So this will work. And I make it a different error message this time. Wait for any project which is less than 20 hours duration cannot be less than 100. Right. So this time if you try to create a project which is less than 20 hours and rate more than 100, then it will create. But if the both conditions are like the duration is also less than 20 and the rate is less than 100, then it will not create. So I make it 15 hours, but the rate I put as $125, it's fine. But if I make it 15 hours and the rate is $80, then there is a problem. Rate for any project which is less than 20 hours of duration cannot be less than USD $100. I mean 100 US dollars. Nothing happens to existing record. A validation rule works only when an insert or an update operation is happening. Something which is already there inside the system existing, nothing happens to that. The moment you are doing an update operation, then only this validation rule will be tested. Till the time you do not do an update operation, nothing happens to the old record. They can be sitting very quietly, right? So because those were created when the rule was not active, so nothing happens to those records.
Now if that doesn't satisfy, if update is not doing, we can delete it. That's the only option. If some by mistake we entered something, it's asked.
Yeah, we should remove that or correct the value and then insert or then update it. So Vijit, okay with this part?
Yes, I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay. So two things that we have done for the business logic is formula and validation rule. Now what is the difference between the formula and validation? Formula is a field type which can do the calculations and return some result. Validation rule is a rule which actually validates the data anytime an insert or an update operation is happening on the database table, and based on that rule it will throw an error. So if you do not meet the criteria, it throws an error. Okay, so third thing under business logic is a workflow rule.